Hello, and thank you for joining me once again for the next installment of The Vault, Stan Hywet Hall Revealed. I'm standing in the round room this week in the Manor House, and as many of you might already know, each year at Stan Hywet Hall and Gardens, we have a different seasonal theme. So this year in 2020, our theme was Winds of Change. We were focusing on the different kind of social changes that were happening in the decade of the 1920s and how the Cyberlings reacted or felt about those various changes. We touched on things in this year's exhibit such as prohibition, women's suffrage, changes in technology and communication, fashion, the influx of immigration coming into Akron as well as nationally, and also the 1920 presidential election. And what many people might not realize is that election pitted two candidates, both from Ohio, against each other. So the Republican nominee was Senator Warren Harding, and the Democratic nominee was Governor James Cox, the sitting governor of Ohio. So here we have one of the exhibit labels that talks about that 1920 election. F.A. was very involved in politics. He was a lifelong member of the Republican Party, and he also attended from about the late 1870s through the 1940s, every Republican nominating convention that occurred. So every 4 years he would travel around the country to wherever the convention was and attend as a delegate. This is something that he took a lot of personal pride in and thought was kind of part of his civic duty as an American. He had a lot of opinions about politics as we read his letters over the decades, especially around election years and election times. He talks very passionately about his views on politics, also his views on how he felt the Americans were either participating correctly in politics or maybe getting a little too caught up in the drama. So this is a quote from the 1916 presidential election. He's writing to a friend. And F.A. says, "Yes, you are right. Personalities of candidates seem to dominate the situation and the issues are receiving little attention. The American mind seems to be about as volatile as that of the French, and a spectacular personality seems to be more attractive to it than sound principles." So he is writing about the Americans' infatuation with the Democratic nominee Woodrow Wilson, who would go on to win the election in 1916 and become president of the United States. And it's just interesting sometimes reading these quotes from F.A. and others in the Cyberling family and how closely they mirror what's still going on today, whether it's politics, social issues. You know, you hear that old saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And that definitely seems true when reading through Cyberling letters. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next installment of The Vault, Stan Hywet Hall Revealed.